Breaking news. French citizens want Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, to step down. And let me tell you, this is after most of them have literally lost their jobs. Remember, Ibrahim Traore said enough is enough. There's nothing these people will be getting from Burkina Faso anymore. And to this point, 44,000 people in France are jobless. And this is the reason as to why they are saying Emmanuel Macron should step down. They were getting free raw materials from Burkina Faso, cheap raw materials from Burkina Faso. This was uranium and a lot of golds from Burkina Faso. But right now, they are really getting nothing. And let me tell you, things are changing. These people are saying no, they don't want. Even the economic minister of Burkina Faso is saying that Emmanuel Macron should step down, and he is the cause of everything that Burkina Faso have done to France. You won't believe this. And let me tell you, Africans are now becoming wiser, and it will get to a point that the people from France are now coming to Africa to seek for jobs the way Africans go outside countries seeking for jobs. Yeah. And now the game has started. Aluta.
If you don't want to be African, if you're going around saying that you're not an African, it's okay. My dear, it's okay. Just stay out of our way. We're in the middle of a revolution right now. We're busy fighting for Africa. We don't have time for you to be going on and on about, I'm not African. Go and claim your Arab nation that you want to be. Step out of our way. We don't have time. I'm this nationality. My nose is not white. My skin is this. I've got Arab hair. It's okay. Keep it. We don't care. Step out of our way. Oh yeah, step out of our way. We're in the middle of a revolution. But I tell you what, when Africa rises, when Africa is conquering the world, because we have the resources, we have the manpower, don't come running back. Don't come with your tails between your legs, running back now you're claiming that you're African, because we don't want you. You go to the nation that you claim that you are. My dear, pack your load and go. We don't even want you anyway. We will keep our Africanness, and you keep whatever nationality that you feel that you are. You keep it, okay?
They tried again to unalive Ibrahim Traore. I'm telling you, a group of militants, apparently jihadist militants, attacked villages in Burkina Faso. This is after Michael Langley promised that he was going to help Burkina Faso get their independence. And we know that France is livid. France is so angry with Burkina Faso. They're so angry with Burkina Faso, they will not leave them alone. Why are these people? It's so, oh my God. Why? I just don't understand it. You are a European nation. Why can't you just live in your own country? Why? How great? Listen, I pray that they don't succeed in aliving Ibrahim Traore. I pray they don't succeed, because all he wants is for his people to live in Burkina Faso and have some sort of quality of life. But these people will not have it that Africans can actually live a decent quality of life. So many people were unalived in villages. I haven't seen them myself because I didn't want to see the horrific videos. Apparently there are horrific videos of what these Islamist jihadists did. Now this is the thing about France. France don't take rejection very well. Because people who tried to reject the colonial forces, I think it was Equatorial Guinea that tried to reject France's, the currency, the French currency, whatever. And before the French left, they destroyed the roads, they bombed schools and destroyed hospitals because they did not want to leave any structures standing whilst they left the country. This is how bitter they are with Ibrahim Traore, because he stood up to them. Why can't the whole of Africa stand up to these people? Because you know what? The world is changing. Don't get me wrong, France is actually fighting for its survival because they've got no other source of income. They've got no way. So the only way they can remain relevant is to continue thieving from Africa. But the world is changing. The world is changing because Ibrahim Traore has sought the protection of Russia. They have sought the protection of China because these, it seems, are the African allies.
Kenyans are doing what Ibrahim Traore is requesting. All Ibrahim Traore wants is all people to come together and remove bad leadership. And Kenya is doing that. In fact, they are even helping Uganda by crossing the border and going all the way to Uganda. Can you believe this? Just to help the Ugandans vote the right person. Even Tanzania, they are asking for Kenyans to go and help them after what happened in Uganda. And even Nigerians, they are requesting for Kenyans to go to Nigeria and vote, to help them vote. Can you believe this? Well, some people are asking why Kenyans are not removing Ruto. Well, he's not a good leader. Well, we tried. Kenyans tried. They did all demonstration and a lot of people lost their lives. So Kenyans came together and decided that they are going to vote him out on 2027. All Kenyans will come together to remove him. So when Kenyans crossed the border all the way to Uganda, elections were cancelled because they went to different villages and they noticed that it was Kenyans who were voting. A lot of them, the voters, were mainly Kenyan, and that is when it was cancelled.
All right, man, so let's get to it. President Ibrahim Traore announces free housing initiative to combat homelessness in Burkina Faso. Come on, man. Hey, my nigga Ibrahim Traore, man, he running laps around these other African leaders, man. Like, this shit is getting diabolical, man. Salute to Bo. Let's continue, man. It says, in a bold move to address the nation's housing crisis, Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore, has launched a comprehensive free housing initiative aimed at providing shelter for the country's most vulnerable populations, including internally displaced persons and low-income citizens. As of May 2022, more than 1.9 million people were internally displaced, intensifying the demand for adequate housing solutions. A vision for a universal housing by 2030. President Ibrahim Traore administration has set an ambitious goal to ensure that every Burkinabe has access to adequate housing by the year 2030. The vision materializes with the commencement of a project on July 12, 2024, approximately 40 kilometers from the capital. I can't pronounce that. The project focuses on construction of 1,000 social housing units distributed as follows: 500 units in the central north region, 100 units in the north region, 50 units in the Plateau Central region, 50 units in the House Bassins region. Come on, man, this man going crazy, man. Salute. Job creations for local communities. This ambitious housing initiative is not only about providing shelter, but also about creating jobs for the local population. The construction of 1,000 units will directly employ thousands of local workers, including builders, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and laborers. Additionally, local businesses supplying building materials such as bricks, cement, wood, and paint will see an increase in demand, further boosting the economy. Training programs are also being introduced to ensure that local workers gain new skills, making them employable even beyond this project. These initiatives are to expect to contribute to a long-term economic growth, particularly in regions where job opportunities have been scarce. Expanding affordable housing options. In addition to the free housing initiative, Burkina Faso has introduced affordable housing programs like the WASA program and developments in Kimasiga. These programs aim to provide low-cost housing options for the citizens over 18 years old, allowing them to subscribe and pay over time. Bro, this man is running laps around these African leaders, man. Man, he embarrassing. A lot of these African leaders, man, is being embarrassed, man, by this young leader, man. Bro, continue to keep standing on business for your people, man. Salute to you, bro. Man, you one of the ones, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We all watching, we paying attention. Salute, my brother. You running laps around these other African leaders, man. They should be embarrassed. Salute to you, man.
Paul Kagame has been in Paris this week. It seems that Paul Kagame will do anything for money. So he's been in Paris this week. We don't actually know what deal he's been doing with the French president, Emmanuel Macron. And we know that Emmanuel Macron has been very desperate to destabilize the western part of the Sahel. We know that Ibrahim Traore, there has been plans to unalive him, and only yesterday over 1,000 jihadist militants unalived so many people in Burkina Faso. So this week, Paul Kagame has been busy in Paris having a meeting with the French president. And this is after he agreed to do a deal with America, where he's going to take all the desperate people who have been deported from the United States of America. It seems like Paul Kagame is okay to soak himself in the tears of misery. I don't really understand the mentality of these African leaders. What is it about you that you have no integrity? You know what is so weird? Because Rwanda was gaining quite a reputation for, good governance and everything. But Paul Kagame, come on. It seems like this dude will do anything for money. He doesn't care about those other pit of their misery. He's now in Paris. I don't know what he's selling in Paris. Probably some more misery of people.
So we have some major breaking news coming from Nigeria. You won't believe that the government in Nigeria has banned Pan-Africanism. Now, for those who don't understand what is Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism is the love of Africa to unite and become one thing for the benefit of all the Africans. Pan-Africanism has been seen now that all the countries are now joining with Ibrahim Traore to ensure that the Western nations do not continue using our resources, because they have been taking our resources and using them in their countries. Now, the government of Nigeria under their president, their president has now become the most unpopular person in Nigeria because of the things that he's doing, and he's also very, very old. He's known as Tunubu, has banned Pan-Africanism. He doesn't want Africans to unite and become one. Just imagine. So if you are in Nigeria and you participate in any activity dealing with Pan-Africanism, you are going to jail, according to your president. So I don't know how true this is. Please, the people in Nigeria, tell us what has happened and why they have done this. And as Africans, we have to stand together and ensure that Pan-Africanism continues and Africa unites to be one for the benefits of all of us.
Folks, this video you are seeing here is not Africa. There is America, the greatest country in the world. Yes, watch this video.
Facing too. The epicenter of San Francisco's homelessness problem is here in the Tenderloin, where tents fill the footpaths and crime is a constant problem. In downtown Los Angeles, Skid Row has similarly been a no-go zone for decades, but it's a different story in the suburbs of both cities. Here in the heart of Hollywood, dozens of RVs line the street outside Warner Brothers studios. So-called vanlords charge around $1,000 Australian dollars a month for these RVs. The median monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment is almost 4 times higher.
So, let me make a quick point. This is what exactly is going on. Imagine somebody who cannot take care of his family, who cannot raise his children, just comes to you and can't tell you, hey, how to go about raising your children. How would you feel? Very bad, right? That's exactly what's going on. This is what you see with America. They have so many socioeconomic problems. Have you seen the homelessness? Have you seen how many people? That's California. When you see it in the movies, you think it's a heaven. No, it's hell. We don't have these kind of problems in Africa. Where I'm coming from in Ghana, we don't have homeless people. Never. It's next to zero. There's no homeless where I'm coming from. So obviously, you people have so many issues. So why don't you address the issues you are facing? Why don't you address the homelessness, the drug problems, the fentanyl that's running rampant on your streets, the crime? Your countries are not safe. Leave us alone. Okay? Leave us, please, alone, Langley.
Let me ask you something. Why is it that when Africans take charge of their destiny without Western permission, suddenly there's always a plot or chaos? Every time an African dares to stand up, they call it a threat to stability. Every time we take back our land, they call us juntas. But when the West sends bombs in the name of democracy. They call it peacekeeping. You see this headline, Burkina Faso junta claims it foiled a coup. Claims. But when the CIA whispers, it's a statement of truth. When France coughs, it's breaking news. But when Africans speaks for themselves, it's claims, says, alleges. That's not journalism. That's colonial arrogance with a microphone and camera. They always use words like claims, says, or alleges when an African leader that is not aligned with Western interest is in power. But when France or the US, when they report something, it's fact. No skepticism, no air quote, fact. Now let me say this unapologetically. Captain Ibrahim Traore didn't overthrow a Western puppet government to become another. He didn't come to power by begging Paris or Washington. He came because the Burkinabe people were tired of puppet regimes. He kicked out French troops. He rejected Western domination. He threw them all out. He told France to pack their bags and leave. He told the imperialists no. And that's why they want him out. And ever since then, there's been nothing but media smear campaign. This so-called major plot to overthrow him. I don't even need classified documents to know how these things work. Africa has seen this movie before. It's not the first time. And now they are pointing fingers at Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast? Well, I'm careful with my words here when it comes to Ivory Coast. But history doesn't lie, right? Most of us know how Félix Houphouët-Boigny, the man Paris kept in their back pocket, was used like a tool to sabotage liberation efforts across Africa. Kwame Nkrumah knew it. Thomas Sankara paid for it with his life. This is the same Félix Houphouët-Boigny who helped birth PanAfricanism, that neo-colonial network where African leaders were handpicked, funded, and controlled by France in exchange for power and protection. A system designed not for African progress, but for French interest. It was Houphouët-Boigny who stood against African independence in spirit, even as he waved the flag of Côte d'Ivoire. He opposed Nkrumah's vision of a united Africa. He undermined the formation of the United States of Africa. And when real Pan-Africanists like Thomas Sankara rose up, Boigny's Ivory Coast became a staging ground for a French destabilization. You can Google what I'm saying. He backed the Lomé Framework of 1975, a series of trade and aid agreements between the European Economic Community, then they call the EEC, that is now EU, and African, Caribbean, and Pacific ACP countries. It was signed in Lomé, Togo in 1975, a framework that was all about economic control, tying trade and aids to European rules. He also supported the Leopolds Conference, a political statement by French President François Mitterrand that was delivered in Leopolds, France during the 16th France-African Summit in June 1990, where Mitterrand told African leaders, from now on, French aid will be tied to progress towards democracy. In other words, no democracy, no aid. But what kind of democracy was he talking about? Blackmail disguised as reformed. Leopolds was all about political control, forcing African states to adopt Western models or lose funding. You see, the Lomé framework was about economic control, and the Leopolds Conference was about political control, which were just sugar-coated ultimatums: accept Western-style democracy or lose aid. Not democracy by Africans for Africans. No, it was democracy tailored in Paris and handed down like charity, and both helped maintain PanAfricanism. the invisible empire that replaced open colonization with financial and political puppetry. This man, Houphouët-Boigny, was the godfather of dependency in Africa. He made sure the franc CFA, a colonial currency, remained chained to the French treasury. So when today's headline says this coup plot may have roots in Ivory Coast, I don't just see a neighbor. I see old ghosts. I see the same colonial arteries being pumped with new blood. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Now, Burkina Faso is not perfect, of course, but one thing is clear. The people are with Traore. They see a man who is not bowing to IMF, a man not kissing Western boots, not selling them empty democracy while children starve and terrorists roam free. And so they call him junta. But Charles de Gaulle was not called junta. The British monarchy is not junta. Even Western-backed military regimes are never juntas. Only Africans get that label when they stop being puppets. African leaders who don't align with the Western interests. This is not just about Burkina Faso. This is about every African who has said enough. Enough of being ruled from Paris. Enough of being lectured by London. Enough of our gold, our uranium, our dignity looted while we get headlines full of insults. Enough. Now, I need you to understand this. I am not neutral. I'm African. And when I see the media trying to shape my mind against a man who stands for Africa, I ask, who paid for these narratives? Because one thing I know, when Africa is rising, the empire gets nervous. Burkina Faso has chosen its path. And if you are African, it's time to choose yours. So I say again, Africa must wake up, because the game hasn't changed, only the players. So to Captain Ibrahim Traore, I say this: stand firm. History is watching. They called Lumumba a threat, Sankara a madman, Nkrumah a dreamer, but time has proven they were right, and the empire was afraid and wrong. The same empire is afraid of you now. They fear a Burkina Faso that thinks for itself. They fear an African that won't beg for loans. They fear young Africans who would rather die on their feet than live on their knees. And to every African watching this video, whether in Abidjan, Accra, Nairobi, Bamako or Brazzaville, in fact from Cape to Cairo, this is not just about Burkina Faso. It's all about all of us. Because when one of us rises, we all must rise. When one of us is targeted, we must all close ranks. Let the empire know we are no longer scared of their headlines. We are no longer moved by their threats. We are no longer fooled by their aid. We are Africans. We are awake. And we are standing with Traore, with truth, with the future.
My people, Burkina Faso and North Korea has been added at the travel ban of United States. And let me tell you, now the list is long. We have got Burkina Faso, we have North Korea, we have Russia, we have Ukraine. Yani, America has come to a point that they think they are heaven. They think that traveling to the United States is like you have traveled to heaven. They think that when the Americans travel to these countries, they will add anything to these countries, or rather, they have actually colonized these countries for the longest time, most especially Burkina Faso. And I really know the reason as to why he has actually put a ban in Burkina Faso. Yeah, I think even you know that. First things first, United States doesn't want Ibrahim Traore to be in power, and this is the thing that is pissing them off to a point they have issued a ban to Burkina Faso. That doesn't worry anyone because Africans need to stay alone. They need to open up and think on their own and start investing and doing investment on their own. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You guys, you won't believe. You won't believe. The biggest mistake Emmanuel Macron has made, and it has caused him his downfall. You won't believe what is happening in his cabinet. The inner circle. Some prominent guys, people that were supporting Emmanuel Macron before. Listen, Africa must unite. Africa must come together. Africa must upgrade their mind, their thinking system. And I want all of you, this is based on inside knowledge. Inside knowledge. For as long as they keep Africans to think about just their countries, little districts, languages, their religion, their belief, all those things is going to continue to give the West the power to manipulate Africans. But as long as we refuse to think about just about our geographical location, I'm talking about our state, our district, our region, our tribe, our religion, our beliefs, okay? Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, whatever it is that we believe in Africa, put that aside, and the belief right now should be, I believe Africa. That should become our belief. And once this continue to spread, there is nothing anybody can do to hold Africa down. Listen, Emmanuel Macron has made his biggest mistake. Number one, he mocked Africans. He mocked our leaders. He mocked our resources. He mocked our ancestors. He mocked all the deals that were done ignorantly in the past. And he thought that Africans were going to be slaves forever, ignorant, silent, and not speaking anything forever. The young man came up with all kinds of things, thinking that things will continue to be the way it used to be. Right now, let me tell you something. I wanted to share this. Emmanuel Macron, a large percentage of the top guys in France want him to step down. They want him to step down. They want him. They have made connections with themselves. They have dialogues going on right now that Emmanuel Macron is not leading France in the right direction. But by the way, nobody should be so concerned about that. We don't have to even celebrate about that, because it doesn't matter who becomes the president or prime minister or leader of France tomorrow. We are not French. We are Africans. We don't care what they think. We don't care how their leadership goes. We are going to build Africa. We're going to do Africa. We're going to raise Africa. We're going to stop the bleeding in Africa. If they like, let him resign tomorrow morning. It's none of our business. And now, the worst mistake, another worst mistake that Emmanuel Macron has made is just about 24 hours ago. I don't know who is canceling this guy. I don't know who is telling him all this thing. No, we're trying to take things to send messages, write letters and all kinds of stuff to him, but it's like he's deaf. It's like he's not listening. He's not paying attention. He's not understanding what is going on in Africa right now and with Africans right now. He's not awakened to what is happening right now. Emmanuel Macron has to, you know what is happening in Burkina Faso? Yesterday, in the past 24 hours, they have sent some jihadists, some mercenaries to go and destroy some villages, blood, all kinds of stuff. They have massacred some people. Unbelievable attack on Burkina Faso soil. They get to pay. I don't want to say this. But you guys know he's going to the extent of paying somebody, paying a group of terrorists to come and attack Burkina Faso. Now, guys, don't allow that to deter you from telling, from speaking, from standing firm for Africa. We've got to believe in the unity of Africa. We've got to believe in the power of Africa. Nothing anybody can do to limit, to shut down what is going on right now. And now they're trying to say they're going to proceed to Ouagadougou, which is the headquarters, the capital. Now listen, some certain things is going to happen in France. If France does not stop now, if France, listen to me, if you can hear English, they can translate this to you or interpret this to you. If you don't stop now, in the next few months, what is going to happen in France, you won't believe it. You won't believe it. You know, Africans, we don't send weapons from Africa to any country. We don't do stuff like that. But you see this spirit, this mindset, this where we are, this color of our skin all over the world, France, you're going to suffer it. You're just 63 million people. You're just 63 million. You're about to waste all the effort, your ancestors and all the leaders that came before you. You're about to waste that effort. You're about to make to useless France. You're about to bring down France to the lowest of the lowest. Africa is rising. There is nothing anybody can do. Now, there are some plans that we have on ground, guys. But just like I have said, there are some materials that are here. All right, every single day I receive paper, some secret documents, and some of the ones we are working on, they are all here. But we're not going to reveal the next move and the next thing that we're going to be doing to build Africa, to develop Africa. We're not going to be revealing every single thing online. All I'm going to be telling you guys is keep spreading the news, keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing, keep following. If you want to be part of this, you know what to do yourself. We're not going to back down. Plans are on ground. Day and night we are working. Day and night we are putting plans together. Day and night we are putting things that will help Africa to grow together. Listen, a people cannot grow beyond their mindset. A nation cannot grow beyond the mindset of the people. A continent cannot be established without a shift in mindset. What happens before a shift can happen? It is the reconstructing of the mind. Now, we are not a generation that is going to just sit back and keep talking about the looting and the exploitation of the West, of the British and all kinds of people, the Portuguese, the French, the English, all kinds of people that came to Africa to loot and to exploit our people, to take advantage of our people. We're going to provide solution. We're going to say this is the way forward. This is what we're going to do. And the first point of reconstructing and rebuilding and laying the foundation is mind transformation, mindset shift, mindset transformation. First off, I will keep saying this to every single one of you. I want you to say, I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. We are one in Africa. It doesn't matter the language you speak. It doesn't matter how small your country is or how big your country is. It doesn't really matter. I want you to think Africa. I want you to think Africa. I want you to think United Africa under one vision. Under one vision. Don't be so carried away and terrified with the idea of just one person leading the entire Africa for now. I don't want us to just get ourselves concerned with that. That is what the West want us to do. That is what the West want us to think. That is what the West want. And he knows it's going to be, they know that it's going to be so hard for us to come in under one person umbrella, under the umbrella of one person. But we can unite our vision. What is the vision? To build Africa, to develop Africa, to elevate Africa, to be patriotic citizens of Africa, regardless of the region you came from. So now, I wanted to spread this. France is asking Macron to step down. France is going to step down Macron, whether he steps down physically, mentally, psychologically, whatever. France is on the hot seat right now. It's on the hot seat right now. And we don't have to relent in what we're doing. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep developing. If you believe in Africa, join me in this force. Join us in this force. Join us together. We're not just here to broadcast news and whatever is going on. We just want to update you and at the same time educate you so that your mind can be in the place of development. One vision, one commitment, one determination, one Africa. That is all we need right now. All our leaders who have betrayed us, who have done so many bad stuff in the past, we don't care about what they have done. We're going to build from where we are. We're going to do something from where we are. We're going to unite from where we are. We're going to say one voice from where we are. If you believe in Africa, type "I believe in Africa" in the comment section. Share this to your brothers, to your sisters, to everyone around you.
English people, read this. This website is ranking the 10 most brutal empires in history, where third is British Empire. It is ranked worse than NZ Germany. There are 25 empires listed, and this one has the most comments. This is the number of people that were unalive during the H course of the Second World War. And this is the number of people predicted to be unalived by the British Empire. So tell me, which one in your opinion sounds worse?
Africa is uniting. I am so inspired by the way that the entire world came together in support of President Ibrahim Traore. I want to speak specifically to my brothers and sisters in the diaspora and in the African nation. African Americans are not your enemy. We are with you, we are proud of you, and we stand with you. We are to become one empire. One people. If you cross one of us, you cross all of us. And as for African Americans, it is not only time to be inspired, but it's time to start making a deal. I've said before, it is essential that we start thinking about our own survival, and that can only be done in our own republic. We need to become partners with these nations.
Almost 400 people asked me to read this letter, and I cannot tag that amount of people, unfortunately, but I hope this pops up on your FYP. If you're an African, please listen up. This is King Leopold's letter to the Christian missionaries back in 1883. Reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. This is for everyone who always says, thank God for colonialism because it brought us God, and you can't know God and know your ancestors at the same time. Your colonizer knew that it was possible. Your colonizer knew. But anyways, let's go. They speak and submit to a Mungu, one Nzambi, one Nzakomba, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it. You're not going to teach them what they know already. Your essential is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in a way that it will be the best to protect your interests in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their ground, to avoid that they get interested in it and make you murderous competition and dream one day to overthrow you. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging followers to love poverty, like happier are the poor because they will inherit heaven, and it is difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of God. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which makes them affront us. I make reference to their mystic system and their fetish warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon, and you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. If you know your history or read a lot, you'll know that our forefathers used to consult spiritual leaders or spiritual practitioners, like your healers or whatever, each time they went into warfare so that they would be able to protect themselves. But anyways, let's go. Your action will be directed essentially to the younger one, for they won't revolt when the recommendations of the priest is contradictory to the teachings of their parents. The children have to obey what the missionary recommends, who is the father of their soul. You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in schools. Teach students how to read, not to reason. There, dear patriots, are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. He was referring to the Berlin Conference, and this is why I always say I have beef with the Bible, okay? Because certain things were written in there specifically to control the masses. Evangelize the niggas so that they stay forever in submission to the white colonialists, so that they never revolt against the restraints that they are undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping, for the kingdom of God is for them. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Force them to pay you in recognition, goat, chicken or eggs, every time you visit their villages. And make sure niggers never become rich. Sing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter heaven. Make them pay taxes every week at Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to use for flourishing business centers. Institute a confessional system which allows you to be good detectives, denouncing any black with a different consciousness contrary to that of the decision maker. Teach the niggas to forget their heroes and adore ours only. Never present a chair to a black that comes to visit you. Don't give him more than one cigarette. Don't invite him for supper, even if he gives you a chicken every time you arrive at his house. And I want to tell you guys that Leopold won. Because even today, some of the things he told the missionaries to teach us and to drill into our minds are still, they're still useful for the colonizer. They're still useful for the colonizer till this day. Yes. I want you guys to reflect. Then some of you are going to comment in here with a lot of cognitive dissonance, which is fine. But I want you to sit back and just think about it. I love you guys, ne? I love you guys. Mwah.